I really hope they give us the option to turn off the trick dialogues. Alright, okay, I get it! Sonic Racing Crossworlds is starting to feel like a fever dream of a game. When I made the initial video on Crossworlds, I talked about the history of Sonic Racing and the themes and concepts that Crossworlds is pulling from for its various features. At the time, I didn't really care for the game. I thought it was okay, I just didn't have any strong feelings for it one way or another. Since then, a bunch of other trailers and footage came out that captured my attention, and after watching them, I questioned if I needed a sobriety test. Since I already covered the fundamentals of what Crossworlds is going to be in the last video, I'll be sticking to analyzing the newer footage this time. Probably the biggest curveball that this game has thrown is its character lineup. In the Summer Games Fest trailer, we were introduced to some surprising racers like Joker from Persona 5, Ichiban Kasuga from Yakuza Like a Dragon, Steve and Alex from Minecraft, and you already know what joke I'm gonna make, don't you? Hatsune Miku! Steve and Alex are gonna be part of a season pass, which is going to add 6 different universes, and each universe is going to have its own characters and a course based on its appearance. Players are really being spoiled for choice on this one. I'd say it's a lot like Smash Ultimate, but with a few mystifying decisions. They mostly make sense. You got the standard cast, the IDW originals, the newcomers from Sonic Prime. I can even rationalize the Minecraft characters. But contemplating the thought that Spongebob can race our Blue Blur in Bikini Bottom while riding on an extreme gear and keeping first place away from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles makes me question the stability of our timeline. That is the face of someone ready to cause a type of chaos that even Shadow can't control. Speaking of extreme gear though, this was an aspect of a game that I personally found a little disappointing. Truth be told, this is partially my fault since I was basically warring against my better judgment and hoping that the extreme gears would work at least somewhat like they did in the Riders series. But as I expected, my hopes and dreams were given the old testicular torsion treatment. Obviously, it's not fair to have a racing game with 2 different types of locomotives that differ on such a fundamental level. Do I understand and accept this? Yes. Am I still angry and offended? You bet your ass. One thing I will say that the game has absolutely managed to knock out of the park are the various courses. They really went all out with this, giving us a bunch of different tracks inspired from a range of Sonic canon and a new track called the Golden Temple. I noticed that they pulled a bunch of worlds, themes, and concepts from Sonic Colors and Unleashed. We got Starlight Carnival, Sweet Mountain, Dragon Road with the Dark Gaia Phoenix, Haluska with the bioluminescent whale? Is that scientifically accurate? One really clever course is on Kronos Island from Sonic Frontiers, where you ride on the squid's tail. What an idea. I'd want to give that person a raise if I wasn't too busy being paralyzed from traumatic flashbacks. These are some beautiful stages for sure, and the designers definitely deserve their flowers for these. The music, on the other hand, is something that I was a little hesitant to praise at first. The Sonic Racing series has given us some amazing OSTs, and while I don't think Crossworlds is all that bad in that aspect, it's definitely a little weird. This feeling was best encompassed when I took a listen to the remix of Windmill Isle. After hearing that beginning that could only be described as the shoehorning in of a Jet Set Radio motif, I was ready to voice my displeasure. But after listening to that song repeatedly while editing this video, I have to admit that it's grown on me. The beat during the violin part really does some heavy lifting in that regard. It's like Chaos Island all over again. Why are the Chow moving like they're on 9000 ping though? That being said, the soundtrack still has some really good hits. Dragon Road's remix by Camellia takes the Daystage version of the theme and adds a lot of energy to it. Digital Circuit's remix has a really good piano performance mixed with techno goodness. Black Doom has clearly held the music team at Tentacle Point to get another remix of Radical Highway in. Blink twice if you need help. Sweet Mountain's remix by Nonabe takes me right back to Sonic Riders style, especially Metal City, and it's glorious. The thing that was the wet blanket over the ever-building hype was, in fact, the price. Crossworlds costs $70 for the base game and an extra $20 for the season pass, so if you want everything, you'll be paying $90 total. Since it's a brand new game, the only concrete way to determine if it's worth the price is to play through the game and give a verdict. I've personally never been a fan of season passes, and I'm not really willing to spend an extra $20 just so I can play as Spongebob and Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Look at him, he knows exactly how much he's gonna get in royalties. Truth be told, I've kinda checked out of this discussion. I just count myself lucky that I'm not a kid who has to justify the price of a Minecraft Steve DLC. Then again, I've seen kids convince their parents to buy them VIP status in a Minecraft server, so maybe it's me who doesn't understand consumerism. That brings us to the latest trailers. The first one I want to talk about is a Sonic and Pac-Man Collab trailer that was shown at Gamescom, and it's pretty cool and wholesome. It's your standard trailer showing that Pac-Man is going to be a racer in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and Pac-Man World 2 Repack is going to get a Sonic-style level based on Green Hill. Because of course it's Green Hill. The competition trailer showed a bunch of game modes that you can play through, all while the audio played probably the most generic rival banter I've ever heard. Listen, I get that the game is rated E for everyone, but when you hear stuff like this...
I am Shadow, the ultimate life form.
Ultimate lame form?
It's very apparent what the target demographic is. I don't mind having simpler jokes and dialogue for the kids, it's just that every time I'm reminded of them, I'm gonna be checking for gray hairs next time I look at myself in the mirror. That being said, looking at the recent footage of the rival interactions makes me wonder if they tried to correct it a little bit and went too far.
Don't get distracted, handsome. We're here to race, so keep your eyes on the road.
Come on, you're talking to a pro here. I know how to handle the curves like an expert.
You cannot tell me that they didn't know what they were doing with that one. Besides the obvious one, there are actually a lot of really cool character interactions, and I recommend you check them out.
You're going down, punk. Gonna pay you back 100 times over for all you did.
Wow, you learned to count to 100. Very impressive. Now, do you know which one's the brake and which one's the accelerator?
Now that's a pretty good taunt, but we can do better. Observe.
Time to throw down like the old days. And thanks to our rides, we're on even footing. May the best racer win.
First of all, your Jordans are completely fake.
The final trailer, though, ends on quite the high because we get a preview of one of the cleanest animations I've seen so far. It starts with Shadow logging his entry into a race, then customizing his vehicle in a scene straight out of Iron Man, and it ends with the race starting and him flooring it. Man, they're really using the third movie as a stepping stone for marketing, huh? And that's about all I've got to say. People who have played the newer build of the game say it's way better than what we got back in early 2025 with the PlayStation Open Network test. As to how far that's true, I'm not really sure, but good news, you can check for yourself. Depending on when you see this video, another global test is either set to happen, is happening, or has already happened. The test is from the 29th of August to the 1st of September, so if you catch this video on time, you can preload the game and check it out for yourself. You'll also be able to try out Joker and his vehicle, the Arsene Wing, which I think is pretty cool. Personally, I'm not all that interested in buying this game, so I'll probably wait for a sale, but if you're a fan of Sonic Racing, then I can see this being a worthwhile purchase. If you like this video and want to see more, subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment with your opinion is the best way to let me know. I've already got a bunch of other video essays talking about Crossworlds, Sonic X Shadow Generations, and Sonic Unleashed, and I've got more in the works. I also plan on getting back to Let's Play soon when my schedule calms down a bit, so if you're interested in any of this, well, the subscribe button's right down there. Otherwise, hopefully I'll be seeing you in another video. Till then...